Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Storytime Around the Fire Table. I got a question for you first though. Anybody old enough to have seen those Looney Tunes videos? Not videos, but TV shows back in the day when you only had 3 channels. Anyway, the Looney Tunes shows where there would be like a garden and there'd be a row of carrots and there'd be a gopher under the ground, and he'd go down through there and them carrots would just disappear, shoop 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 shoop, under the ground like that. Yeah, well, I was up in a tree one evening bow hunting, and even though I'm bow hunting, I always carry a pair of binoculars with me, just because you never know when you're going to see something too far away that's not going to come, but you want to see what it is. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and I catch movement down below me, kind of about 3 or 4 yards out from the tree, on the ground. And I'm sure most of y'all know what croton is. Croton, or better known as doveweed. Pretty rampant down here in my area. Anyway, there's this little croton bush, little doveweed bush, about 8 or 10 inches tall. And it's just shaking. And it's shaking. I'm like, something's got to be messing with it, because it's not just going to shake by itself. Wind's not blowing. So I get my binoculars and I get to look at it. There is nothing on the ground. And that little bush is just a shaking. All of a sudden, it just goes and was gone, disappeared. I said, would you look at that? I've been out in these woods since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I ain't never seen a gopher pull a weed underneath the ground like that before. Anyway, that was pretty cool. So I'm sitting there, about 10, 15 minutes later, off to my left, about 10 yards away, another one starts shaking, going crazy. All of a sudden, under the ground it goes. So look at this. This is pretty neat. You know, you never know what you're going to experience when you're out in the woods. You know, that's what a lot of these stories are going to be about. You know, my experiences out in the woods and stuff. I hope y'all enjoy them as much as I enjoyed experiencing them. Anyway, so I get home and I tell my brother about it. My brother is 19 years older than I am. He's been hunting. He's been in the woods way longer than me. So I tell him about it. And he's like, oh, you're full of crap. You know, I ain't never seen nothing like that. And I said, well, hell, neither have I. You know, I mean, I've been in the woods a lot. You know, I've hunted multiple states, and I've been all over. And I ain't never seen anything like that. Well, I don't remember how long it was since, you know, past that. That was probably that was in the fall, because it's deer season. And probably in the spring or something like that, I got a big burn pile in the back of my place. I was down there burning that burn pile, and I'm sitting off to the side over there, and kid you not, right next to me, a croton, a doveweed, starts shaking. All of a sudden, whoop, 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 under the ground it goes. I said, look at this. I got on the phone immediately and called my brother. I said, hey, it just happened again. He said, ain't no way. I said, all right. He said, I don't believe it unless I see it, or you get it on video. I said, all right. So that next fall, we got drawn on a hunt over here at our local lake, and so we go over there, set up our stand. We get out of the stand that first evening. He goes, you ain't gonna believe what I saw. I said, what was that? I said, you saw them bald eagles. Because there's a pair of eagles on that lake, and actually their nest is on that peninsula that we got placed on to hunt. He goes, no. He said, I didn't see the eagles today. He said, but I saw the disappearing croton. I said, no shit. He said, yep. He says, just like you said. He said, that little bush started shaking, and all of a sudden just choop, 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 till it was gone. He said, he said, that's the first time I heard. He said, I thought you was full of crap. He said, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. I said, see? He said, you ought to pay a little bit more attention to what your little brother says. And believe him a little bit more. I don't pull your leg. I'm just going to report what experiences I have, and stuff. See if you've ever had them, since you old and decrepit and, stuff. Not that he is, but I make fun of him all the time. He makes fun of saying he's better looking than me, so I can make fun of him being old and decrepit. 20 years older than me, basically. Anyway, but yeah, so going back to the Looney Tunes, them disappearing carrots, them gophers, they actually really do that. Pull that doveweed right under the ground. I don't know if they're using it for nesting material or they're eating it or what they're doing with it, but I seen it 3 times and my brother saw it once. So I know it's fact. I know it's true. It happens. If any of y'all have ever experienced anything like that, put it down in the comments below because I'd really like to hear the story. See y'all later.